Wait a minute. What's happening? Oh, okay. All right, y'all. So let me go through what happened today. I'm gonna insert some clips along the way, but I think it's funny how documenting your life can be in regard to storytelling, like visual storytelling, because I'm literally telling y'all the story in reverse. And then I'm going to insert clips that already occurred throughout today. And I'm literally recording this part of the video at the end of the day, which is fucking crazy. So I'm currently at the fuel station because my tire pressure is low. So I gotta get some air in my tire right now. So that I can then determine from there if there is a leak in the tire or whatever, if I might need to go get my tire plugged, if I need a new tire, whatever the case may be. I'm finna try and check it on my own right now and see what's actually going on. So I guess I'll see y'all. All right, so this is unexpected, but I don't know if y'all can see, but I got a nail. I have a nail in my tire, so I might need to go get it plugged. Or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna just put some air in it for right now. But then yeah, I definitely need to go get it plugged. So we'll see how much that costs. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna just keep it on. Okay. All right, so I just called and it's the back rear. I just noticed that I had a nail in there this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want us to plug it?
Yes, okay. Please. All right, I'm gonna close out this recording. So I was able to put some air in my tire, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to clear that indicator from my dash. So I had to then go to the gas station this morning because I was also low on fuel. So I needed to the pump stopped at $25. Plus I needed to add an additional 75 cents to use the air pump so that I could, get some air in the tire. Right then and there, like I said, as I'm documenting what's going on to obviously record and upload here, I noticed a nail in the tire. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? When did I roll over a damn nail? Like, I don't know. Lord knows. I don't know. But thank God having a newer vehicle allowed for this indicator to pop up on the dash so that I was able to identify sooner rather than later a problem that was minimal but could have worsened over time because I didn't have that extended layer of information through the indicator showing up on my dash. So I'm not sure how long it could have possibly been, but I'm just going off the indicator reading that it happened within a 24-hour period. So again, I started my car up this morning, seeing that pop up, was like, okay, let me go ahead and try and figure out what's going on, and then I'll continue to handle the issue from there. So we already down $25.75 fuel and air for the tire, right? So then from there, I ended up calling around to figure out who can help me solve this problem. So I called a place or whatever, asked them, hey, how much you think it'll cost for me to fix my tire? I just discovered today that I had a nail caught in the tire, blah, blah, blah. What you think? $15 to plug the tire. Amazing. So where are we at now? We got the $15 plus the $25 for fuel plus the 75 cents for the air for the tire. $40.75. But I also this week spent $66.63 for a oil change. I just tried out a new place. I'll insert that clip too. But I was a little nervous because it seemed like they didn't know what they was doing. But I was like, sometimes if I have not yet found a place that I would consider to be a regular place of business, I would try out new places just to save some money, which are always not good, by the way. Sometimes you need to find a place and stick with that place. Sometimes the more loyal of a customer you could be, the more you kind of learn, the people there, and you can kind of negotiate prices. So, which essentially will allow for you over time to kind of get these discounted rates anyway because you're a regular. So that's what I learned about, business. Which is why, like I said, when I find a place and I like how you're doing business, I might stick around for a while. But anyways, so I'm down 107.38, right? So as you can see with this transportation report, I named it quarterly service report because hypothetically speaking, again, my mind going off of, hey, well, I might need to do quarterly service checks because the car is fairly new, right? But let's say I could just change the wording on here. Let's just change the wording as I'm speaking in regards to what actually happened. Let's just say I call this a weekly, right? A weekly service report, just so I can keep a better gauge on how often I might, you know what? No, I'm going to change it to a monthly. I'm going to just change it to a monthly. Let's say we change the name or wording to monthly rather than quarterly so we can get a better gauge of how to budget for these unforeseen expenses, if that makes sense. Because I never want to get caught off guard because I don't know how to budget for unforeseen costs, if that makes any kind of sense. I should have a better understanding of what to look forward to as far as the costs, the range of costs associated with the thing, if that makes sense. So let's say these charts were created based on, let's say, the value of the vehicle, the true value of the vehicle, or what the vehicle was sold to me as. I then would take that average range of number, break it down from annual to hourly so I can get a better gauge of what the actual cost would be to further operate this vehicle, or I was specifically do a 10 to 15% of the market value rate plus the interest to come up with that number, if that make any kind of sense. Because I don't have time to be blindsided with a cost that I just like, oh my God, wow, you guys are so expensive. I don't understand in this economy. I don't care. People doing business, whether you like it or not, they doing business. You need to understand the business on your side so you can know how to further conduct it when you get out in the public space. Because it's business happening whether you want it to or not. So with me understanding stuff like that, I'm like, okay, cool. Now I then understand at the 10% rate monthly, I should be expected to spend roughly around $462 a month reinvesting into my transportation for further operations of the vehicle. Or I could hypothetically expect to run into some kind of issue where I might need to swipe a credit card or anything in case of these emergencies, because I just don't have the money, because I want to train my brain to believe that I didn't know that these expenses were going to pop up. I don't ever want to be blindsided about something that to me just don't make no logical sense to be blindsided about. I have a vehicle. I understand I have a vehicle. I understand that I might have a car note associated with. I already have insurance. I have fuel costs, oil costs. I might as well add in possible repair costs. Why not? It's a part of further operating the vehicle. So why not include those costs, right? To kind of minimize the burden of further operating a vehicle. Because I really, like I said, let's say I live a hectic life. I for damn sure ain't got time to be worried about no extra stuff, such as worrying about no unforeseen costs. I don't have time to be worried about no stuff like that. So because I don't have time to worry about it, I'm just not even about to play games with it. Right? So let's change this amount to $462. And that will hypothetically speaking be the amount that I need to make sure I have as a emergency fund towards transportation costs, which is slightly under the recommended amount that they say most Americans should have, which is $500 to $1,000 in saving, because you never know what this emergency might be.